Welcome everybody to a brand new series. My name is Nikki Czek and this is Ilona Morrison, and we are here today to show you how to put together an aeroponics tower, and it's really around growing our own food and healthy food and food security.
Yes.
So take it away.
Okay.
Ilona, show us what are we going to do?
Okay.
What do we have?
So this is the base for the tower garden. It comes with built-in wheels, locking wheel, and then this is how you actually level your tower garden. So it's built in, and it's easy to move around if you need to move it to your water source.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do is take this piece that goes on top, and I'm going to put in these rods because we are building a tower, right? That's why it's called the tower garden. So what we're doing, there are different holes here and they are labeled. If you look on the other side, Nikki, it'll say A and B, and we're going to put it into the A.
Okay.
And if you want to hold it this way for me, sure. And then I'm just going to attach the wing nut thingy. Okay. Yes. Great. And you can do this on your own, but because you're here, you're going to be my helper.
Yay.
So a lot of kids put these together. It's really simple to put together, and everything comes in the package. Okay. So now we're going to do the same thing into the A.
The other A.
Yes.
Perfect. Got it.
We're going to pop that in there.
Okay, I'll hold it.
And then we're going to kind of play like almost like a Tetris, you know, where you're going A, B, and we're just going to keep building it up so that these openings are not on top of each other. They're kind of offset.
Staggered, okay.
Yes, that's the word. So
Ilona, what is the, you corrected me.
Yes.
I keep saying hydroponics, and you said this is aeroponics.
Yes, so the difference, I can tell you the difference. Yep. So hydroponics means that the roots are immersed in water at all times. And aeroponics, they are immersed in this tower in air, so the roots are getting proper airflow going through it as well. Yeah.
Do you have a preference?
Aeroponics. Well, I think so. Aeroponics, from what I understand, hydroponics, there could be more chances of mold because it's just sitting in water.
Sitting. Okay.
So that's the difference. Okay, so the next step, what I do now is I just kind of put it on its side. Okay. There, so we can see. Perfect. And then we're going to attach the pump. Okay. So the pump is what is going to push the nutrients and the water up and then shower the roots and recirculate the same water over and over. So this is a small immersible pump that has to stay in the water. And I'm just going to attach it to the tower, to the middle of it. Oh, yeah, that's how it pushes it up. Yeah. So I'm just screwing it in here, if you can see it.
And I'm just going to hold it and show people just so they can see where you're putting it.
Yeah, so I'm just screwing it in, and sometimes you have to kind of untangle the wire. Okay. And then, there we go, going in. And then once it's tight, like right now, we're just going to place the pump, if you want to help me place it down. Okay. And then the wire goes out the side. And look at that. That was simple.
That was so easy.
Yeah. So there is that. And then this is where we're going to go from A back to B. Okay. So again, we're just going to look inside. And I usually just put my fingers like this so I can see. And then...
So you're doing B.
B now. It's section B.
Okay.
And then they click in together. Look at that.
And that's how we're getting our staggering.
Yes. Plans so that they're not kind of on top of each other, right? And then we got A.
Got it.
And you can see how fast this goes, really, right? Yep. And then we're going to do B. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to see, but they are labeled. There we go. So now they're together. And then I'm just going to put this little extension on for the microgreens extension kit, which we're going to add as well. So it just screws in.
Microgreens extension. So these are smaller. There's more room for,
Yeah, more room for small rooted plants. Okay. So again, A. And we're just going to go A. And this is when
now I have to get a step stool.
This is when it helps that to have something to stand on, or if you're tall.
How about that?
Look at that. Okay. Thank you. Let me, or if you were heels, that might be good too, but not today. I'm just trying to get it in here. Oh, I'm just trying to line these up and they're not lining up for me today. Why don't I get on this step? It'd be easier. There we go. Okay. let's see. I sometimes struggle with this one, but see how this guy has to be here.
Okay.
So let me try something else. I promise it's not this hard usually. I don't know why today. Will that line up? Nope. That's off center, right?
So we want that.
We want this guy to be right here.
Okay, so is there a hole there?
Yeah. Let's see if this works.
I feel like we got it.
Oh, nice.
We got it.
Yes.
Ish.
And then if I need to adjust it later, I can. Okay, so we are there. And then now we have to line up these guys again. And sometimes I find it lines up so nice. Let's see. There we go.
Yep.
Right? You can always fix it after if it's not exact. There we go.
Okay.
And then we're going to put the shower cap on.
Okay.
This is called the shower cap, just to cover up, because then when the water pushes up, it'll come through here and it'll kind of go down like a shower. So it's called a shower cap.
Okay.
It's just got little holes so that it can get...
Like a rain shower.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then it's going to go there. And, there we go. And then we're just going to tighten it with the screws.
Okay.
And then there's our tower garden. Now the only other thing is it also comes with a water monitor. So it tells you how much water is inside your tower garden. So I'm just gonna put it through here. So, you know, as the water goes down, it'll come up and it'll tell us that it needs to be filled.
That? Okay.
Yeah, so it just comes up.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's like a little bubble, right?
Perfect.
And then the next step would be to take your pump and attach it to the timer, which we are not plugging in because there's no water in here. Okay. And you have two settings, either for I or for indoor or O for outdoor. So you can grow these outdoors or indoors.
So Ilona, that's perfect. So that's how quick. No, we still have more to do. We have the lights.
Yes.
So one more thing to attach.
Yes. So, okay, you ready to help?
Yep.
Okay, let's get it up on top. And there's no tools or anything required. And now I just move them over a little bit.
So this seems really sturdy.
Yeah.
This seems really sturdy.
Yeah.
Okay. That's simple.
Yes.
Okay. So how long have you been doing the aeroponics towers?
I have been helping people for 9 years with aeroponics.
And you haven't quit.
No.
So you have huge success in it. So let's talk about the Okanagan in general. How many towers do you have, or do you like to have, or do you recommend a family has?
Well, I think it depends on how many people we are feeding in the family. Okay. I actually have 2 at my house.
Okay.
And some people have 3, depending on, you know, what their eating style is as well, because you can grow pretty much anything that is not a root vegetable. So you can do leafy greens, you can do even edible flowers, you can do tomatoes and cucumbers, anything that doesn't have to go in the ground. So the only thing that is out, right, is potatoes, carrots, garlic, and onions.
And beets.
Beets.
Yes.
Yeah. And everything else is good. So some people will do like a salsa tower or a herb tower or a lettuce tower. So it just depends on the family. I would say this one holds 32 plants. That's quite enough for a family of 2 or 3 even.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to, we're actually, after we're off air, we're going to fill it.
Yes.
And then next week, we're going to germinate or do our seeding.
Yes.
Is that the right language?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Yes.
And then we should be planting.
Yes.
Are we going to plant? Let's talk about what we're going to do next week. Are we going to plant into the tower? Are we going to plant in trays?
I feel like, so what is recommended is to plant in a tray. It's called a germination tray.
Okay.
I find that is good if you're not like me and you forget to water them because you need to remember to give them water every couple of days. But if we put them right into the tower, then we allow the pump to water them and less chance of you forgetting to water it. So I say we just put them in the tower and see how it goes.
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
We will do that.
So I think there's a very big interest in people taking this on. There's a whole bunch of reasons around health and what's going on to our food. So if you're in control of what's going into it to feed the plants, or maybe pest control if it's outdoors, indoors, wherever we want to plant these. So there's what's going on it. Is it cost effective? Would someone do this to save?
100%.
Okay.
Yes, if you can think of like a packet seed, I wish I had them here, but there's about 100 lettuce seeds in a lettuce pack. Very inexpensive, and you can grow 32 heads of lettuce in here. Yes, the smaller ones you would have to do small little. I do the mini romaine up here. Mini romaine. Oh my God. But then the rest, the bigger openings, you could do a nice big head of iceberg lettuce or like the mixed lettuce, and you can grow 32 seeds in just this one tower for really, really inexpensive. Yeah. That's amazing. We also, like you were saying about pests and the environment, we can control the environment when we bring it inside. We're not worried about fires affecting the sunshine. We get to control the environment with these grow lights. Okay. So you can grow this in a corner in your basement. It doesn't need natural light. So it's a great way to do food security in our homes or businesses.
So we don't need a big apartment or house to have a tower like this and grow our own food?
No, you can,
What are some of the questions, or actually, I have so many questions for you, Ilona. I'm so excited to be doing this. So you and I are going to come and do this every week, and we're even going to bring all of this to harvest and be able to eat from this tower. So that's super exciting. What are some of the, why don't people grow their own food?
I think it's just educating people. Well, if you're talking about traditional gardening, a lot of people are running out of space. They have to downsize. They're moving into condos. Or, let's be honest, most people work 2 or 3 jobs. There's just not enough time to be gardening. And traditional gardening takes a lot of time and effort and, the weeding and the fertilizing. And most people, when they have that downtime, that's not their number one priority, right? They're doing other things like family time. So I think number one is why people don't usually garden is the time, it's money, and they don't have the space. So we have kind of created a solution where you can grow it, in a corner basement suite to be able to grow with the tower gardens.
So Ilona, my hope is you will teach me. I've taken an interest in, and I was naming it wrong. I said hydroponics, but it's definitely aeroponics.
Yes.
I really want to have many towers growing. I'd love to see business people watching this and bringing a tower or 2 or 10 into their businesses and allowing staff to take care of it and harvest from it and really, share in food and sustenance, being able to put food on our tables. But I'd like to encourage people to try these machines. So I'm not a great dirt gardener. I'm not good at it.
No.
I start the season with enormous enthusiasm and it fades very quickly because it's very intensive work, very weather indicative of what happens or not. And I've already drowned a whole bunch of peppers and tomatoes. They are not going to make it. But what's the craziest thing that you've grown in your tower?
Oh, craziest. I like to stick to the things that I eat.
Okay.
So I haven't, but you know what? That's not true. I actually started growing kohlrabi. And kohlrabi. It's like a root, and I'm European, and we eat that root a lot. So it's just a purple. It almost looks like a beet, but a little bit different. It's more like a root with the stem on it. And I thought maybe that you can only grow that in soil. But it was actually growing here. And it was just sticking out. And I thought, okay, I'm doing it. And there was 2 on 1. So that was really cool. I've grown cauliflower, but it took a really long time.
How long? Really long?
I think like 4.5 months.
Okay, so devil's advocate, if you're running your tower and you're harvesting lettuce and you're taking things from it almost daily or every other day. Again, there's probably a system to planting, so we don't have everything
at the same time.
But does it matter if something takes 4 months?
No, it really doesn't. No, I was just thinking in regards to investment, right? If it takes you 4 months to grow something, but if you're staggering things, which is what I would recommend anyways, then it doesn't really matter. But to me, because I was impatient, I was like every day, like, are you growing yet? Because the lettuce grows so quick.
So fast.
Right? And I've been used to the lettuce and the leafy greens and arugula and microgreens and the herbs. They grow so quick. So when this was taking a little bit of time, and I think I didn't really know if I would have success with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you put it in here and the lights are on, the timer, and the watering system is on, it's pretty much like 99% proof as long as the seeds actually sprout, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things you're going to teach us in the coming weeks?
So next week, what we're going to do is, like you mentioned, we're going to talk about what medium we're growing in instead of soil and why. And then we're going to plant the seeds. Then we're going to talk about the maintenance on the tower because I will be here to do it every week. So we'll talk about the little maintenance that it needs. Okay. And maybe then we can also talk about what do we do with all the produce that we grow. You know, in an office space like this, we could easily have like a, you know, maybe make some lettuce, right? Not lettuce, like salads, right? So everybody can bring something and you could have like a potluck lunch and you could use all the greens from here. Okay. And what else can we talk about? There's so many things. And I'm sure as we start going, there'll be questions coming in as well.
And I do think, yes, please send us all your questions and I'll make sure that Ilona gets them either before we go live or maybe we'll just answer them as best we can. Yeah. It depends on the volume of questions that comes in. But I think there's a lot of people that maybe haven't jumped off to try and participate in this for fear of not knowing. So I don't have a clue about pH anything. Right. I don't know about, there's a whole bunch of other calculations on thermometers and I have no clue. Right. So we'll be doing some of that through here.
Will. Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing is, you guys, I want to just remind you is I kill everything that has soil because I have to water it. And I forget, I'm doing my thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, my plant. And until it's dying, I always forget to water it. So really, that's taken care of here, the watering. And then all you're doing is the nutrients and the pH, 2 things. And you're doing that every time you fill up the water, which is about 1.5 to 2 weeks. So it's very low maintenance. So I feel like if I can do it and kids in schools can do it, then majority of the population can do it too.
So do you have a lot of these towers or is there a lot of these towers in schools?
Yeah, we have them in schools. Juice Plus, the company, by Tower Gardens by Juice Plus, we donate a tower garden to each Boys and Girls Club as well throughout North America. Wow. So that is teaching the kids where their food really comes from because I find a lot of kids don't get healthy food. You know, it's not accessible, available, or cost effective. And kids also don't eat it sometimes. So we find that when they grow it themselves, they tend to eat off of it when it's right there in the corner.
And there is something to be said about modeling. I know if I'm eating potato chips, my granddaughter wants to eat potato chips. If I'm eating dried banana chips, she wants to eat dried banana chips. So very much modeling. We can be better at healthy food choices, and especially if we're growing them.
Yep.
Fascinating. I am so excited. So Ilona is going to guide us through growing these incredible meals.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see what we're going to plant next week.
Yes.
I don't know what it's going to be, but it'll be a surprise. So be sure to join us and let's get growing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thanks, Ilona.
Thank you for having me.